What's up, guys? Back here.
Back here with some fantasy football for the boys.
I know, dude. Week one, football's back.
I'm virtual
We
here.
are back. Yeah,
Virtual-
Justin's hanging out with us virtually. We got Nick in the background ready for his segment.
So we're gonna go over this week. Gonna go over the rules. We're gonna review the rules a little bit. Power rankings
We got a little outsider's perspective. Going to be a new little segment.
and big
Got it.
trade.
Big trade. Michael
trade.
Thomas on the block. No longer. He's
All right.
out. Shipped him out.
Let's get into the recap for
Get
week
started.
one, baby. Jesse French versus the Bulldozer.
Quite the game of the week. You know, you got to have two John Paulians going at it. You got a little bit of action. from-
ESPN ranking Jesse French number one. Doesn't matter. The Bulldozer gets it done.
He's got it done. He had Calvin Ridley come out big. Matt Ryan. Juju come back for the big game. Kyle's team makes you think, when you work at Deloitte, can you really draft an NFL franchise anymore? Don't know.
Don't know. OJ didn't do it versus Breeze between my thighs.
You know, some say John's going to have a revenge season after his past couple of weeks. But he played out pretty well. Number one in the league for scoring. He's the scoring champion so far. Russell Wilson, big game. Nyheim Hines, don't know if he's going to do it again.
Where does that put him in the power rankings, Boom?
It puts him pretty high. You'll be seeing a little bit. But I'll be honest, Breeze by the thighs, Rodgers is back. Good news.
Takaris John McKinley versus ...
You know, that name, pretty strange. Also, other team name, pretty strange. Makes sense why they didn't score much. You shouldn't reward anything like that. Josh Allen, big day. I guess that's good if you're a Bills fan. Not many people are. Kenyon Drake kind of looked awful.
Deja vu from week one last year.
Makes sense. Nick does know how to score still.
Remember your Andy effin' Dalton.
Yeah, talk about a dog shit team versus an actual dog shit team. Tony's team, bad. Real bad.
Adam Thielen, 28 points. Wasn't enough. Only puts 98.
Yeah,
Team dog shit takes it.
easy. Makes you think, is Tom Brady ready for the game?
Don't think so.
Some say this game was game of the week. We're going to go with a little El Kamish versus the champ. Classic
Wow.
3-year battle. 3 years in a row with under a point to start the season.
That's insane. Never done before in fantasy football history. We've confirmed it with Matthew Berry.
Yeah.
Ben Roethlisberger puts up 22 points. Kirk Cousins had a terrible first half. He
Two
had
completions.
negative points.
He came out and he balled
Second
out in that
half,
second half.
he turns the game around. He turns the season around for Joe.
Some say Devontae Adams is trying to prove a revenge game against Sims as not picking him up again this year. Well, didn't do enough. Josh Jacobs pulled through for us.
Raheem Mostert and Josh Jacobs, best running back duo in the league.
It might be. It might be. Not even touching on Alvin Kamara.
Piss Dogs versus Team Little Pump.
Only thing getting pissed on was Sam all week. Tyreek Hill, not good. Aaron Jones, there's 4 running backs in Green Bay now, apparently. Lamar Jackson, DeAndre Hopkins, and guess what? They just got a newcomer in town in Michael Thomas.
DeAndre Hopkins, 22 points in his first game.
It's hard to
Big
argue.
things to come.
12 receptions.
And in our last game, big ol' TDs blows out Michael Mancini.
I wish I could say I didn't see this coming, but Mancini again sucks.
And Christian McCaffrey. He's going to do what Christian McCaffrey does.
He's just like Jack Darlin being hot.
Yes, sir.
So that's our week recap. A lot of big games, a lot of close games, interesting games.
Yeah, I agree. What
A
are
lot of touchdowns scored this week.
Yeah, there was. The defenses. The only defense that put up a good amount of points was Washington, right? Like.
Well, you had Washington, and then I think the Saints defense because they had a touchdown.
Oh, true,
They had
yeah.
a pick six on Big Brady.
Yeah.
Started this season just like he ended the last one.
Apparently he's thrown 3 picks in a row. That
Do you think
kind of
Washington's
worrisome for
defense is
anyone
the
who's
real
got
deal?
him. They play Kyler Murray this week, who just showed up the 49ers defense. So a lot of people thought
see.
49ers defense was hot, but they did just lose 2 cornerbacks, especially Richard Sherman's going to hurt them.
We'll see. You want to go to the power rankings?
Let's hit the power rings. Let's take a peep.
Do it. So coming in at 14, we've got no place like the bottom of the power rankings for Michael Mancini.
Oh,
It's just tough when you lose 2 running backs and you overpay for a third. And you're trying to trade for other people, and there's just no room to trade because you didn't spend enough in the draft.
yeah.
Put himself in cap hold debt, kind of, right there with a $70 buy-in from Malcolm Brown.
Mancini he did this conservative strategy in the draft, didn't spend all 300. Was gonna wait for the waiver wire, and he used it on Malcolm Brown. So
I think he kind of ruined it the first week. You know, if you're going to go conservative, go conservative.
well, I don't know.
It's a long season.
Malcolm Brown, he had a good game.
He could, but I still think that's a running back by committee.
But is he the long-term answer?
I don't know.
He's not the long term answer, but he might be the short term
He
answer
might be the short term. He might be able to good plug in until James Conner gets back.
if he ever does.
Maybe Marlon Mack will be back before James Conner gets back.
Probably.
13. What do we got?
Alright, number 13, we've got Weird Team Name,
Yeah.
a.k.a. Dat.
Yeah. Dat, fix your team name.
I
before
like the
next
team
week.
name, dude.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know the reference, look it up. It's pretty funny.
Not gonna
So,
take the time to do that.
Yeah.
You gotta score points, Dat. You struggled in that.
77 points. Says a lot about Mancini's team that he's below that, but
I
tough
think
shots at Mancini.
I think Dad's team's actually really good, and I think
I think he has the best team in the league.
yeah, his
Oh.
wide receivers are really good. I forget who his running backs are.
I don't know about that. Let's take a look. But I don't know.
Jonathan Taylor's on the come up.
Yeah,
with,
Jonathan Taylor and Kenyon Drake.
Norman
That's not
Mack out,
bad.
but still 77 points.
You
That's
gotta
gonna
show
put you
up.
at the bottom of the week 1 power rankings.
It really is. Prove us wrong. Who do we got at 12, Justin?
Number 12 coming in, we've got Team Lil Pump, Sam.
Representing Richmond big. When you start Gronk and Golden Tate, it's tough to really come by anything.
Especially when Golden Tate doesn't play.
Yeah,
That's a big one.
we hope to see an eye on like the lineups before we get set for next week too.
Might have been able to pull out a W if he put someone else in his flex that was going to play this week. It was a close one, but that's going to hurt you.
Yeah, it's really gonna
All
hurt you.
right, number 11, we've got Tony. Remember your Andy Evan Dalton.
When you think about Tony's team, you just think pretty bad. So nothing new here. He's got 2 young guys, and aside from that, he hasn't got much. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and I don't even remember the other guy's name.
Yeah, who's
J.K.
it?
Dobbins, he's got.
J.K. Dobbins, you
Yeah,
know,
J.K.
as a Ravens
Dobbins.
fan, you like to see him get 2 touchdowns, but aside from that, Hayden Hurst not doing much. Adam Thielen, pretty good. Tom Brady, is he fit for the big leagues anymore? Maybe retire. You're in
Brady's
Florida
the
now.
Quarterback? Is he washed? Which one is it?
Doesn't know. Vikings defense, not a good pick. Tony hasn't, not the good defensive strategy, not drafting more than 1 defense. Bold.
All
Easy
right,
green,
number
okay.
10, we've got Jesse French, Kyle.
It sucks to see a good guy like Kyle sink this far low. You know, usually he's a top 6 in the league, and it's just tough. Like
He came in 3rd last year. ESPN had him at 1 going into the season, and he just got blown out by the bulldozer. Not a lot of people saw that one coming.
I did.
It's a tough
Not a
loss
lot
for
of
Kyle.
people.
He's going to have to fight back.
We're hoping
I think he can do it, though. Saquon's not going to play the Steelers front 7 every single week.
Yeah, he won't be. And Kareem Hunt might be getting some big minutes if they're down big again.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz scares me, though.
He's got Dallas Goddard and Travis
He's
Kelsey,
got
maybe.
2 great tight ends, though. That
He
is
does.
true, Steve.
His team's looking good at the tight end wise, but Devin Singletary, can he prove it together, Nick?
Yeah, Bills
All right.
fan. Bills fan
Number
expertise.
9, we've got Breeze Between My Thighs, B-Dar.
Yeah, Bedar.
In this one.
If there's been anyone asking a lot of questions, it's everyone about is Brian's team going to be good or not. He proved all right, decent. Aaron Rodgers balled out. Can I say I wasn't surprised? I wasn't. Rest of his team doing decent. David Johnson, a former player of my own, proved me wrong. He's still got something in the tank.
But at the end of the day, he lost by 20, and that's why he's at number 9. Improve
Yeah.
the defense, Brian. You can't be letting people put up 140 on you every week.
Figure it out, Brian. You're a darling. Do it for the family name.
Got caught with his pants down, and John took advantage of it.
Just like Kevin used to.
Number 8 coming in, we've got Team ... Nick.
Some would
Even though he
say,
got a win, he's in the bottom half of the power rankings this week, which is kind
Wow.
of surprising.
That's our first team with the win, right?
It
Yeah, that is.
No,
I mean-
yeah.
some would say it's surprising, but when you only score 86 points in a half-point PPR league, is it really that it's
Yeah, I mean,
surprising? But he did make a big trade today.
Nick, that we switched to half-point PPR.
Let's
and
wait to talk about
90
it.
points is
Let-
no longer
Yeah,
acceptable.
we'll
If you
wait-
wanna
we'll pump
win,
the
you
brakes
gotta
on
score
that.
100 plus.
It really makes you worry with Odell Beckham taking shits on his chest. He kind of laid a big turd out on the game the other day. Not really doing much. Then Melvin Gordon helps him out that Philip Lindsay's hurt now.
Yeah, it also helps him out that he fumbled yet again.
Yeah, he did fumble very early, so maybe he's not ready for the mile-high air.
That's just what he does, though, man. He's a fumble machine.
Yeah.
He's
Also wasted a big buck on Uncle Lenny, Leonard Fournette, who got maybe 2-3 carries in the Bucks game, so
I mean,
not looking too hot.
his team's running back heavy, and he's a defensive-minded owner, so maybe Nick can pull it together.
That's true. The 49er strategy.
Least points against yet
Buffalo
again.
Bills, yeah. He's been watching his team.
Jeez.
All right, number 7, we've got Team Dog Shit, Michael Horan. Surprising that he's this high for a team that's literally dog shit, but Joe, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, like, when you draft a quarterback who's probably maybe my height, if not an inch taller, yeah, your team's going to struggle, Michael. Should have figured that out before you left and went to the draft. But, you know, aside from that, Michael, Brandon Cooks didn't really ball out too much for you. Will Fuller kind of took a lot of that. And then Jarvis Landry, that Browns offense is stalling, and Joe Mixon didn't really do shit either.
Joe Mixon didn't do shit.
Hey, when Derrick Henry goes for over 100 yards, they're 14-0, so maybe Mike Vrabel will understand that and keep pounding the rock with him.
Braves.
And you also have the Pats D. Kind of iffy for the rest of the season.
That was a really a close game or it wasn't close between Tony and Michael, but Michael had a bunch of people playing on Monday night.
Yeah, he stole it away.
Yeah,
Stole it away. Noah Fant came up big.
Wasn't the only game that came down in Monday night, but that's a different story. All right, coming in at number 6, the champ.
We'll let you take this one, Justin. What happened?
Rough one this week. Real rough one this week for the champ.
It must have been a tough one to swallow.
Hey, the highest team with the loss, though. That's got to be encouraging.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, Miles Sanders isn't going to be out every week. It just sucks it happened to be the first one he was out. Devontae Adams really tried fighting for a good fight. What did he have, 35 points? Jimmy Graham came in big for you, too. I didn't think he was going to get any touches. He got a touchdown, so that was nice for him.
He should have had 2. He got stopped at the goal line.
Question is, Justin, do you start Sammy Watkins this week? He had a big week last week.
It's always got a big
Yeah,
week
that
one,
one's
though.
going to haunt me for a couple of nights.
Yeah, Mike.
Not starting Sammy Watkins.
Losing sleep over that one. Definitely not losing sleep over your tight end one, though.
Are you thinking
That's the price I pay for making a bad decision.
Are you thinking Ben Roethlisberger can handle the whole season?
He looked good.
Did look good.
After the first quarter. After the first quarter, he got the jitters out.
He did.
All right, enough
I
talk
think he'll
about
be
your team.
fine. Hopefully. We'll see.
All right, who's at 5?
Number 5, we've got the Piss Dogs. Austin.
All he was doing all week was just pissing all over Sam.
Came out with a win.
What a hate to his team was coming on draft day when his starting running backs were Latavius Murray and James White. But
He got the job
He's
done
1-0.
either
he
way.
is 1-0.
Latavius Murray split a lot of carries with Alvin Kamara.
All right, number 4, we've got El Kamish. This might be the highest Joe's ever been in the power rankings.
I was just about to say, I don't think we've ever been up this high, so hopefully we can hold on
This
to
is
it.
uncharted territory.
This really is.
You've been
Usually,
here, Sims.
Where
Act
you-
like you've been here.
we'll act like we've been
Don't let
here.
it get to your head.
I think the week 1 matchup, we just got lucky. Julian Edelman, Michael Gallup got what they needed, but really the job came down to Alvin Kamara, Josh Jacobs, and Kirk Cousins' second half. Helped out big time. Aside from that,
Gonna need Kamara to start getting up more yards. He's not putting up 2 touchdowns every single week with 12 yards.
we got trust in him. My bench are pretty solid with our young wide receivers. Might plug them in this week, so we'll see what's going on with Lazard and Slayton.
End of the day, you were the better team. That's why you're higher in the power rankings.
There you go.
Couldn't say it better myself.
Who's number 3,
Number
Justin?
3 coming in, we've got the Bill Dozer.
Yes, sir.
Long time awaiting,
ESPN
huh?
ranked him 14 to start the season, I believe, or 13 maybe. He was down
No,
there.
I was ranked number
He
14 by
has
ESPN.
risen.
He has risen. You know,
I don't know.
ESPN
A lot of
doubted
people
him.
were down on me. A lot of people were down on me. Not just ESPN, okay?
A lot of people in the league.
A
I'm
lot
not
of
gonna lie,
people.
I was one of those guys. But
People-
Will Fuller, big game.
People in
A
this
lot of
room
people
were down on me.
saying that Steve might have the best receiving core in the league with Calvin Ridley, Juju, and Will Fuller.
That's
They
not
proved
bad.
it right. They proved it right.
They're a young, talented core.
I don't like my my options at tight end or defense or running back.
Running back's a little shaky.
Hey, you got Taysom Hill. I'd plug Taysom Hill, and he had 5 points last week.
Yeah.
Pretty solid
Yeah,
guy.
Taysom might be getting targets.
It was a big
with,
trade.
Michael Thomas.
Yeah, that's huge for me.
That might have been the
Michael Thomas
biggest
going
trade.
down is huge for Taysom Hill.
And Austin Eckler, can he prove it? Can he prove himself without
I don't like Tyrod Taylor. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, Tyrod Taylor kind of screwed everyone.
Tyrod Taylor screwed me over big time.
See if Matt Ryan can do it again next week.
He's gonna do it again.
All right, coming in at number 2. I think this is also a highest for this player.
I think this is shocking for everyone.
John. I think
Wow.
this is the highest John has ever been.
You know, John,
By far.
John, he's been trying. He's been trying the past couple of years. He thinks he knows what he's doing, but you know, hey, a week ago he was starting Adrian Peterson, then Adrian Peterson got cut, and he switched up his whole lineup. So props to him.
Adrian Peterson almost put up 100 yards, so still not a bad pick.
Not bad. John also already down a roster spot.
He's down
down-
2.
he's
roster
down
spots, I
2.
believe.
Yeah. Nobody really knows what goes through that guy's heads, but hey, Mark Andrews, maybe he'll put up 2 touchdowns every week, and Julio Jones will just ball out. Russell Wilson, solid pick. Aside from that, dude, there's a lot of question marks.
Look, baby.
A lot of question marks, but you scored a lot of points this first week, John. Keep it up. We'll see what you do next week.
All right, and last but not least, the hottest player in the league.
Number
We got
1.
Jack Darling coming in at 1.
Wow.
You gotta love Jack Darling. He's had persistence. He's been at the bottom of the league, and now he's back at the top.
This was a 2.5-hour podcast.
And it's just tough to see how you think Jack Darling doesn't go the distance this year, you know?
It's with this roster, I don't think we see him lose a game.
There was
honestly.
a lot of criticism of him spending all his money on the first 5 players in the draft. But it might be paying off. He's looking good. He's in the top of the power rankings. See if he can stay up there. He's got a big matchup this week against
Austin,
the
what do you think about your place in the power rankings, man?
Where am I in the
Get
power
the camera
rankings?
over here.
Where am I in the power rankings?
You are
You're number 5, bud.
number 5.
I mean, I feel like that's all right. After this week, I'll be 2-0. I'll be in the top 3. I've just built my team for the long run. I have young talent on top of cap space.
That's interesting. Have you made any moves since?
Yeah,
We'll talk.
I just shipped we'll talk now or we'll talk later?
Is
We'll
Nick
talk
here?
later.
No,
Nick,
bring
Nick,
it up.
Nick,
Let's
are you
talk
here?
about the trade.
Yeah.
So tell us how it all went down.
Yeah, tell us who contacted who
Give
first.
us the scoop. Give us
So-
the scoop.
So I put in our Snapchat fantasy group chat, I said Michael Thomas on the block. 2 minutes later, I get Nick adding me as a friend on Snapchat and hit me up, what do you want for Thomas? So we talked, this and that. We worked it out. It was very civil, very fair. It's nice to talk to another football mind who's not ignorant like Steve and Joe and, who's known a thing or two. And so, he talked to me like I was a former champion. And so I appreciated that. We worked something out. He got his guy. I got some cap space and some talent.
Yeah, he's pretty tall.
And I'm a tall guy. And yeah, so that's what I got from him. I got some young talent and I got some cap space, so I can make some moves in free agency as well.
So going forward for the next couple of weeks, I know you and Nick have probably kind of thought about it. Nick, for you, Michael Thomas is out for a couple of weeks. Do you think that's going to hurt your team?
Not really. I pretty much didn't really lose anything because DeAndre Swift was on my bench. Same with Hollywood Brown. I didn't really expect to get Michael Thomas. I asked him to see what he wanted. I was like, what the hell? Why not?
So it was just a prayer, and he answered your prayer.
So, Nick, it kind of sounds like you think you won the trade.
Probably not. I lost Hunter Henry, which is big for me. That's the main reason why I was holding back on it at the beginning.
I mean, with Tyrod Taylor, are you really losing much right there?
But I mean, what am I gaining starting Chris Herndon?
Not much, based on the week he got made.
So, Austin, what do you think about your trade? Do you think you'll pan out? Do you think it'll be a quick turnaround for you? Or do
No,
you
I think it depends. Obviously he got the better players of right now. If Marquise Brown continues to produce at even a decently high level, DeAndre Swift ends up being the starter, and Hunter Henry stays productive, I think I did just as well as he did. And then if I can get someone in free agency, which I'll have a lot of cap space for, then all of a sudden I'm looking at the most loaded team in the league.
We like that. So already thinking long term after a week
Long term,
one
it's a
of
marathon,
the
not a
Dynasty
sprint,
League.
boys. Marathon, not a sprint.
Not bad.
So does this mean you're going into rebuilding mode, Austin?
No.
Because you got all the young talent.
Justin, as a champion yourself, you should appreciate this. I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit to still compete now and get better in the long run. So I can do a little bit of both.
A little bit of rebuild, a little bit of in the now moment.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I think what a lot of people aren't talking about is that Hollywood to Lamar connection you've got going now.
I got my quarterback and my wide receiver. Tony knows all about that.
I'm jealous. I don't know who.
I got my 2 guys. Those are my boys.
Well,
Get
we
him
like
here.
that.
Where's Tony at? Tony!
I'll grab him.
Well, we like that. All right, let's move on to the next segment.
Thanks, boys.
Yeah, get him in
I think
here.
this is a fan favorite from last year. I think we're going right back to Nick for Nick's picks.
Yeah,
Let's get into
let's
Nick's
see what it
picks.
is.
Nick, we'll
All right,
segue
so,
into that.
Looking up the matchups this week, I think I have a few busts and
his tea.
2 booms.
Okay.
So the first bust is Tony. Remember your Andy F. and Dalton.
Not a big shock there, I don't think.
But do you have any tips
it's
on
only
why?
a bust if you expect them to do bad, but it's not great. When you're starting Marvin Jones in your flex, it's not great.
Who's he playing? He's playing
And then-
Dat.
He's playing that.
His opponent is my first boom, which is Dat. If he gets Kenny Galladay back, I think he has the best starting lineup in the league now that Marlon Mack died. They're starting Jonathan Taylor, Kenyon Drake, Galladay, Moore, Waller, and A.J. Brown.
Dad did lose Le'Veon, though.
Yeah.
Le'Veon is awful.
Yeah, so probably
think-
hoped him, to be
I think
honest.
that helped his team. I think I got him as a boom this week.
And he's got Hot Rod.
Next bust.
Hot Rod can go off at any moment.
He really can.
The next boom is actually Team Dogshit.
That's shocking, considering his name.
But, I mean, he has great matchups across the board. Derrick Henry versus Jacksonville, Nixon versus Cleveland, Cooper versus Atlanta.
Did you say Pooper or Cooper?
But Cooper.
Pooper, I like that. for the dog shit. Someone's got to poop it.
Fits.
And then my last bust of the week is the Bulldozer.
Okay. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
A little roommate rivalry right there.
Power rankings.
Yep. But Matt Ryan versus Dallas, they have a better secondary than on defense. Chargers are going to be in comeback mode versus Kansas City, and we saw Eckler get 1 catch last week, so that's my bust.
Interesting. We like
Look at
that.
that wide receiving core.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Will
always
Fuller
going to keep me in
versus
games.
Baltimore. I can't wait for him to be shadowed by Marcus Peters or Marlon Humphrey.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Well, thanks for the picks, Nick. We'll have to look back and see if you were right last week or not.
I think we will.
Should we move on into the rule segment?
Yeah, so we're just going to go over a few rules I think that people might have
Some questions.
might forget about. Yeah, I don't think anyone. I think we just did the waiver wire period. Everyone did good. Remember the hard cap is $360, so you can go up to that by picking people up. Mancini picked Malcolm Brown up for $70, but he only used $280 in the draft, and he went to like $330 or something. So he was good with
that's
that.
why he was able to do that. A lot of other teams in the league obviously can't spend $70 because most of them spent $300 in the draft.
Yeah.
Also, make sure if you're picking people up off the waiver wire after they've already cleared waivers, if you're picking them up and putting them on your roster, they're going to be $1. It's
Yeah.
not just $0
Yeah.
as it says on ESPN. You're paying $1. It's just the minimum.
And the other thing is that when you're cutting guys, so if you're cutting a guy before week 8, if it's a long-term deal, you still have to pay his salary, then half of his salary year 2 or year 3, however long it is. But if it's a 1-year deal, you only have to pay half of it now and half at week 8. So basically, like Mancini, he dropped, I believe, Marlon Mack because he's on IR and he was on a 1-year deal. So he gets, he spent $13, I think, on Marlon Mack in the draft. So he spends 7 of it, you round up on week 1, and then he's going to get $6 back because he didn't have him on his roster for the second half of the season.
Yeah, and also remember you can trade draft picks too. Don't forget about that.
For the rookie draft is 3 rounds. You can trade, what do we agree on, 2 years in the future?
Yeah,
so we
2
can trade
years.
next year and the year after.
Yeah, and also just make sure you're updating your Excel sheet. Just make it easy on everyone. Especially if you have a trade, look to see at Nick and Austin's books by the end of the week
make
after the
sure
trade
you,
processes.
Tony,
Make sure that your trade, if you're making a trade, that you're not going over the 360. Otherwise, the trade's obviously not going to be valid.
Yeah, we're going to void the trade. And then also, another thing, if you go over the salary cap knowingly, so say if next week on waiver wire you want to pay, say you used all $300 in your draft and you want to pay someone $51 to $52, you don't have that money, so the soft cap to the hard cap is the extra $10 between the $350 to $360. So essentially, don't spend more than $50 in free agency. If you do, we will remove him from your team and put him back into it. If someone else also bet on that person and you won because you paid money you didn't have, we'll evaluate that and figure out who the person goes to.
also if you get below, if your salary cap goes below the leftover budget you have on the free auction system on ESPN, we can just add more money to you. So if Austin is at like 230 or 240.
I'm at like 260.
I think
260.
Austin's around like 260.
And he only has
270
had like
trade,
$40 left on ESPN. We can give him another $100
Yeah.
to spend. Yeah, I think that's it for rules. Tony, you want to give
Yeah,
a little
if
inside
you got any
your
questions, just
your team?
reach out to us, send it in the group chat, something like that.
You're at 11, buddy.
Where am I in power rankings?
You're at 11.
11.
So tea time with Tony. What are we thinking? Week 1, poke the holes in the league. Let us know what's up.
Well,
Can they see him?
They can see him.
He should take his shirt off.
where can they see me from?
There's a webcam right over there, bud. You see that green dot? It's looking at you.
Is Michael in this?
Nobody's in this.
Fuck
There's a
you,
video.
Michael.
Which Michael? There's 2 Michaels.
The one
I think
that
he's
was
talking about
Mancini
Team Dog
or
shit.
Haran?
I think he's talking about.
You're
one
talking
talking
dog
shit.
shit.
Oh,
We
that's
played
Mancini.
Michael Haran
Tony
this week
gave
as
Mancini
dog
a
shit.
nickname
The one
today.
talking shit in Snapchat.
That's no place like Mahomes.
yeah. No place like Mahomes.
Currently,
no
he
place
lost 2
like
running backs
fucking
this
last
week.
place.
I think you should cut him a break. He lost 2 running backs this week.
Bum. Think I give a fuck. He's a piece of shit and he's a bum. I'd probably beat him in basketball. That's for sure.
Tony, what do you think about the league? You're a big enemy of the league, some would say, to start with. Week 1's in the books. How much of a shit show do you still think it is? And why?
Listen. You guys may see me as an enemy of the league, all because I have a superior phone than all of yours. But it's
Potato.
fine. It's not a potato.
It's not a phone.
It's not a potato. It's a great phone, and I embrace being the enemy of the league. It just
It suits you.
It does suit you. You're like Bane.
Listen.
bigger.
I thrive on it. I thrive on the hate. Just a quick little shout out to my buddy
ahead,
Nick.
sorry.
Just a quick little shout out to my buddy Nick. Remember how bad it was for me to draft Clyde Edwards-Helaire at $99? Man, that was a stupid fucking move, huh?
Maybe you shouldn't talk shit after the first quarter. That was his fault.
I'm
That was
getting
his
all out
fault.
now. I'm getting all out now. Man, that was a stupid fucking.
What are
stupid
your odds
fucking
for this
thing.
season? What do you think you can do this season? You think you can make noise?
Listen, I'm not gonna make much noise this year, and I think that's fine. But I believe I have just one if. I think the one if is if J.K. Dobbins becomes the guy in Baltimore. If he becomes the guy in Baltimore, I want you to imagine 2 top 10 running backs, Adam Thielen, who balled the fuck out this weekend, and my wide receiver.
Offense. Kirk threw 4 passes in the first
Yeah,
half.
pipe down. Tea time with Tony, not tea time with Justin. Then I have a lot of depth at receiver. I have AJ Green, DK Metcalf's young, and Marvin Jones. And Hayden Hurst, I believe, is up and coming. He's not the best right now, but he's up and coming.
Anyone on the Falcons, I don't know about that.
So I actually like my team a lot in the future. This year, we may not even make the playoffs because a lot of other teams are pretty good, but I genuinely believe I'm one running back away from just absolute dominating everybody.
Okay. We got Kevin in here for the last segment.
Yeah, well, we got 2 seconds. We're gonna call one person, and
Who
then
we calling?
we're gonna call one person.
right.
Kevin.
Call him up.
New little segment. Kev. Give Margarita.
Yeah, should have given the viewers a little warning that you were going to scream into their headphones.
Yeah, well, warning. Kev. Let's do your outsider's perspective. So right now, Kev, fantasy league owner of himself. He's gonna choose his guy. He's fun to team. All right, Kev.
Alright,
Let the people know what team you're looking at and what your thoughts are.
alright. Do I say the owner too? Or
If you can,
today
just
now?
give the rundown.
Alright, Breeze Between My Thighs.
You were
Brian,
trying to say that.
by Brian Darling. The picture is a hot dog, which I like. Alright, so this team, I got a little chance to look them over about a half an hour ago. I'm a fan of this team. I'm in on this team. I like the bones. The bones of the team are nice. You got a nice core of Rodgers, Dalvin Cook, Mike Evans. As we alluded to, I'm a fantasy owner myself. I got Tyler Boyd in like 3 leagues. He's one of my guys. So I really like him. There are some things about this team that I do not like, however. One of my favorite things about the team is that the kid has a backup kicker, and the backup kicker is projected to get no points. I like that. I really like that. It's one of my favorite things. I like the fact that he has Josh Gordon. I think that's funny.
It's on his IR too.
Yeah. That's what makes it even funnier. I love the fact that he has Tua, and Tua's projected to get a 1/10 of a point. Mainly, that's because of ESPN. Like, they weren't just, 0 points. So,
What do you think?
he could go in and throw for,
I think Tua's
10
the
yards.
3rd highest paid quarterback in our league. What do you think about that?
He's up there. Tua's up there. Brian paid a lot for Tua.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's
ridiculous.
a bad investment. That's what we call a bad investment. I like Jameson Crowder. He had a big week last week. I hate Anthony Miller. Ruggs, I'm not a big fan of. So this kid's bench it's weak. You got a weak bench, dude. But the bones of the team are nice. He could win a couple games, but once we start hitting the bye week season, I think I think the breeze is going to be a little too strong between the thighs.
What do you think about the tandem of Houston running backs?
I like that he handcuffed the rest of the league with the Houston running backs, David and Duke. that sounds like it could be like a TV show.
I'm sure it's gonna get frustrating some weeks watching a Houston running back get in that says John on the back of his jersey and he doesn't know which one it is.
But he's getting points from either one.
It really makes you think. All right, well, let's transition into this last bit of the segment. We're gonna call a little someone.
A little someone special.
He's a little excited. We got big news for him.
Hello.
Can you introduce yourself, sir? You're on the mic.
The name is Jack Darling.
Jack
Darling. Known as Big Old TDs.
Big Old
Currently known
TDs.
as Big Old TDs.
Otherwise also known as the hottest darling there is. Jack, we just wanted to call you, give you the update on the power rankings. How's it feel to be number one?
Here's the thing. Didn't know that. I'm just learning about that right now. Where was this posted? Is this being published as we speak?
Well, right now we're live. We're about to cut it, edit it, and then cut out a couple parts of Tony's talk because it just rambles. But yeah, we're gonna post it a little bit later.
Wow. This is actually...
Jack, you went in big. You went in big in the start of the draft. You went all in on McCaffrey, Carson, and Ertz, and it paid off, buddy. It paid off.
I nickeled and dimed you guys. I took after the zone. I put all my chips in one basket in the first millisecond of the league. And, hey, it's paying off. Turns out you just got to push your chips into the middle sometimes.
Jack, as the older brother in the family, I know you and Brian were drafting together. You two were probably a little frustrated because I kept talking shit to you out there the whole draft. Did you give Brian any tips throughout? Like, Brian's not very high up, but what was the thought process in that room?
Well, let me just say a couple things. First things first, I was sitting next to Brian during the draft. It's my first auction draft I've ever done, and we both had no idea what we were doing, so very confusing, but I'm glad my draft turned out insanely better than his, substantially. And I will say the second thing, I do have some advice for Brian. I would say maybe, wait a couple weeks. The man literally is, if you just take a peek at that recent activity log, it's a little bit absurd. The man just picks up people and drops them within a couple hours.
We've noticed.
Got to remind this guy that the salary stays. It hangs around. So I'm not really sure what the strategy is there, but maybe it'll pay off. I don't know. He picked up Deion Lewis for like 9 hours and dropped them last week, so I'm trying to figure that one out.
Brian, any thoughts on your roster for going into week 2? Do you think you'll hold down the throne of power ranking at number 1?
I mean, trying to still figure out my looking at my lineup now. Still, my flex is a big question mark this week. Not really sure what I'm gonna do there because I had Boston Scott there, and he was very unproductive. Not really sure what I'm gonna do here. And this half PPR kind of changed things, but I'm not really sure. I'm gonna be. That's my biggest thing coming into the week. Is just trying to figure out who's gonna be in that flex spot. Got to keep my throne,
Jack, I just want to let you know you got a pretty big target on your back now, buddy.
Yeah, people are upset with the power rankings, but the league managers, we think we did our due diligence, looked at every team up and down, looked at the salary caps. Jack, you've been at the bottom of this league. Now you're kind of trending towards the top. Would you say the change of the league to Dynasty League with an auction draft maybe was more in your favor? Maybe we should have been doing that from the get-go, or do you think it's just your pure hotness that kind of got you here?
I mean, I've always wanted to do a Dynasty League. I've always thought it was kind of cool, and I like this whole contract thing we're doing, honestly. I thought it was kind of tedious at first and kind of a lot, but I've grown to like it. I think I've grown to like it. It makes my team feel more like a team, and it feels good to, have guys like, have a guy like McCaffrey locked in for years to come, It feels good to not have to worry about drafting him. He's going to be there. And it gives me a little bit of security, and I think that's going to really help me in years to come. Hopefully, years to come, if this league, I don't doubt this league's going to be back for years to come. But I'm really liking it. I'm really liking it.
All right, well, Jack, we appreciate your time. We thank you for coming on. We hope you tune in to the video that we're going to send out later tonight. And we'll see you on the football field this Sunday.
Hey, is Vizone here somehow?
Vizone already hit it out. Do you have any last words to give Vizone, though? As a neighborhood competitor?
Fuck you. Fuck Vizone. Seriously.
We'll make sure he gets the message.
I'm sick and tired of this kid, Snyder Marks. Fuck this kid. But love a good competition, but fuck this kid.
All right, well, on that note, Jack, you stay hot, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye, guys.
See you, buddy.
See ya. All right, and that seems like we got week 1.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys.
See ya.